How many times do you think you've had your picture taken in your career?
Yeah, you probably don't know, right?
Yeah, or done interviews or all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
you do get used to just like not worrying about it.
Just in the background.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Inside Look. I'm Jeff Lyons, along with Don Mattingly. Welcome to Inside Look, Don. We're glad to have you back here for a little bit.
Thank you.
I appreciate you carving out time in your schedule to be on this podcast. It's a great honor.
Appreciate it.
So,
appreciate you having me.
How many interviews do you think you've done in your career? I mean, this has to be, more interviews than hits, would you say? Or
Oh, no. No chance.
Yeah, no. Well, I know, baseball is the thing, and we can talk baseball a little bit, but I'm really curious about just the life, that living that as a Major League Baseball player. But prior to that, growing up here in town. So kind of walk us through the Don Mattingly story. Just in a
story.
Yeah, well, you tell whatever you like.
Well, obviously grew up here and with older brothers, had 3 older brothers. Great parents, kind of grew up with the all-American kind of, 2 parents, brothers playing out in the backyard, going to church and
living the dream.
Yeah, just doing, just the life around here, playing Little League and all that. So.
Sure. When did you know that maybe you had a little something more than the other guys that you were roughing around with?
I always did well. Right, so a couple things. The Little League coach, Pete Studer, would always tell me at church, he goes, "Hey, when you get to the big leagues, I want tickets." Right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. But probably my freshman year in high school, I played varsity baseball, and then the Legion team put me on, picked me to play during the summer. And we were playing in Owensboro, and I think his name was Mark King, and he was the Reds' number 1 pick. He was a pitcher, and he was going to be signing the next day.
Yeah.
So he was going to pitch against us. And so I'm 15. I had a couple of doubles, couple of hits. And from there, I started getting letters. And that's kind of when it started for me, like that I really started thinking about, okay, maybe baseball's the way for me.
That was going to be a question I had for you. So do you know when you're being scouted? Like, does somebody say, hey, we're going to be watching you in this game Saturday? Or does word get out? Or how does it percolate up to the bigs? It
might be different now, but back then I didn't know if somebody was there or not there. Only one time I think a guy came to Memorial to the high school and wanted me to throw and wanted me to run.
Watch you do these things just independently?
Independently.
Okay.
Just by myself, throw and run and things like that. And obviously, they'd been watching me for a while.
Yeah. And then did he say, we'll be in touch or give you a card? Or how did that work then?
No, they didn't. Those days are a lot different than now. I think kids kind of know where they're going to go and teams are talking to them. And they may have been talking to my dad. Nobody was talking to me.
Uh-huh.
And I know my dad wanted me to go to school. I wasn't that enthused about that. I was really more.
You were going to go Terre Haute, weren't you, to Indiana State?
I was, and kind of a whole different story there.
Yeah.
But, so I didn't really know, but I wanted to go. I wanted to play. And when the Yankees drafted me, then I had a chance to play.
How does that happen back then? Did a letter come in the mail? Did you get a phone call? Or, like today, of course, this would be college. We have signing, it's letters of intent. But back then, how did you get that word?
I don't know if I don't really remember how I got the word. Like, I don't remember if at some point during the day, though.
Yeah. You woke up in the morning and you weren't a Yankee, and then you were.
Yeah, I was at school.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think it happened before school. Obviously, it happened before school was out, and we were still playing in the tournament or finishing our season and still had the tournament to play.
Yeah, and Memorial was one state. And
we won it the year before.
Oh, that's right.
Got to the finals the next year and got beat.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, you wound up at the Yankees. So it all played out.
It did.
But you didn't start right there, though. You had to do the minors first and kind of prove yourself.
Oh yeah.
So who makes those decisions? Like they say, okay, Don, we want you on the Yankees, but you're going to have to go over here first and prove your worth. Is that kind of how it works?
You get kind of drafted, and usually you're starting like especially out of high school. I came out of high school. I started in rookie league in Oneonta, New York. And from there, you're just a product of you're in the organization, and it's how you perform. If you perform, you get a chance to keep moving. But I played in Oneonta that year, finished that, the second after high school, played like a half season there.
Yeah.
Went to instructional league. And then the next year, they kind of, as you go to spring training, you go to another, I ended up in Greensboro.
Yeah. And so are you living like in an apartment with a bunch of the other ball players, or how do you, what's off the field, like how do you live that way?
You are living pretty much, there's probably a few complexes. The first year, the team kind of hooks you up a little bit, but then I end up finding a buddy, making a friend on the team. We live together. And then the next year, like there seemed to be a couple of apartment complexes that they knew you're only going to be there for 6 months.
Right.
And so they help you out, right? The team, I'm assuming the minor league team kind of gets it set where you're not paying a bunch of deposits and all that kind of stuff.
Well, so what you thought it was going to be then, like when you started on your path to Major League Baseball, or was the glamour still there for you? Obviously the passion was, or, you wouldn't have accomplished what you've accomplished, but.
It's I don't think I knew what to expect, and I had no, like what I thought it was going to be. I just knew I was getting a chance to play. I remember thinking in Oneonta that this is great. Like, you get to play every night, pretty much play every day, and you're getting paid, right? And so, and that just kind of continues. And you don't really know what they think about you, especially nowadays or in those days. They just kind of went and did what they said, and you ended up on another team, and there wasn't a lot of publications saying, oh, this guy's a top prospect or not, who is the top prospects. Nowadays, it's a lot different.
Yeah. Everything's different nowadays, right? A little more complicated, and of course, everything's out in the open, and social media and everything, and media in general, you're under intense scrutiny. But at that point, we'd read about you in the paper every day, how's Don doing? And then it would say how many you hit or whatever.
Right.
And, of course, a great point of pride here at home, because we got a guy in the big leagues out there that everyone, knows and loves and everything. How did you keep your connection to Evansville so strong? Because, obviously you've been away for much of each year when you're on the road and so on.
Yeah, I've always came home, I think, other than one winter. I tried to stay in New Jersey and live, and we just didn't like it.
I can't imagine why you wouldn't like New Jersey in the winter.
It's not a whole lot different, honestly.
Yeah.
But, home is home. And, a lot of people say, why are you living in Evansville? Why don't you live in Florida or California or wherever, warm weather? I just always looked at, home is home. And so when I come back here, I'm always comfortable. My brothers are here. My brothers and sisters were here at that point. My mom and dad for a while. So it just felt, it felt better coming home.
Yeah. When you were playing for the Yankees all those years, where did you live? Like, did you have an apartment in New York and just take the subway to Yankee Stadium, or does a car pick you up, or what's that like?
No, you're on your own.
Really?
Yeah, you're on your own. That was probably the biggest adjustment was that first year. Even getting called up at the end of the season, it's like, okay, you're staying at the team hotel at that point, but you got to find your way to the ballpark. Luckily, a lot of the other players, either you hooked up a ride with somebody or somebody would, take care of you. Not take care of you, but, help you out.
Right. No security or
no
entourage
security,
or anything.
No, nothing like that.
But you would think the organization, you guys are a valuable asset, to the whole enterprise. You would think they would, keep you like with Secret Service or something.
No, not at all. Not at all. But that was probably my biggest fear of, like, it was just dealing with, New York and traffic and how do I get to the stadium? How do I get around? Those are the kind of fears that I had. And like, where does my luggage go when we travel? And how do I get, those type of things were the biggest fear. The field was always like the easy part, right? Because that was just baseball.
Yeah.
And the other stuff was what you kind of learned to deal with.
Well, you say just baseball. For you, just baseball is a little more than just baseball, because you've accomplished so many things, so many awards and recognitions. But yeah, just the day-to-day stuff is what always had me curious. Like, and mentioning the plane tickets and that, like, who handles that? They say, okay, we're going to L.A., next week. Then is there a plane ticket in your locker when you come off the field,
No.
or
Team travels.
or, I mean, I know the team travels, but
No, the team travels together,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And that's pretty much all charter,
yeah,
right? So you're going from, it can't really be any better.
mm-hmm.
You're getting on the bus to the ballpark. They're taking you to the airport. You don't go through the airport. You're pretty much going onto the runway,
yeah.
and it kind of take off.
They feed you pretty well. Do they take care
do
of your meals?
now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, there really wasn't. Now you pretty much have a chef in every locker room. Again, things have changed. There's more emphasis on nutrition, training, recovery. Just as the evolution of the game has changed,
Yeah.
a lot of those things have changed too. Locker rooms have gotten a lot bigger, a lot more ways to take care of yourself or have the training staff take care of you.
What was your first day like walking through walking onto the field at Yankee Stadium? I mean, you have all these legends and history steeped in that place. What's that like, or can you even describe it?
No, I think I can describe it because it's a memory that doesn't ever really go away. I think, and it's not so much, coming to Yankee Stadium. It was more going on in the field. You're kind of going you go down the tunnel, and as you come out of that, you're coming up the steps into the dugout, and it just kind of opens up, right, to the field. And that memory for me just never goes away. It's like, and it's probably, I mean, it's the realization of a dream, right? You made it to the big leagues. And so that memory just really never goes away.
Yeah. And do you feel it every time still? Like, I can't believe I'm here? When
No,
you think about the field?
not
that
not
does
like
go
that.
away. Yeah.
It still goes. You always try to stay, for me, I want to always be grateful where I'm at and thankful that I'm in the big leagues and try to appreciate it. But it's like anything else. You go to work every day. It becomes, and I don't want to say monotonous, but there is routines to it. And, once you do it 10 days in a row, walking out of that tunnel is not quite the same. Now you got to get ready to play.
Yeah.
You're preparing for a game. So that part is always kind of the same.
What's the working relationship like between the players and like the front office? Is there somebody between you guys and the owners, the bosses up there, or is it friendly? Do you talk to them, go to dinner, or is it you're an employee and these are the expectations, kind of like a corporate structure?
Again, I think this is another change that's happened. Before, when I started out, you really didn't know much about the front office. Some of the guys may have known better than me, but they weren't really in the locker room a lot. You really were, like, for me, it was the manager and the coaches that I'm really dealing with. I didn't know who the general manager was or who these executives were necessarily. And you would see some of them, right? Mm-hmm. And the kids that were coming down and interns and things like that. But that has changed also. I think it's more of a collaborative, thing now, where the more front offices are down. They're around a little bit more with all the analytics and numbers, and we have more people like that bringing information down. The relationship between player, agent, general manager is more of it gets to be more personal. Mm-hmm. So I think it's definitely a lot more personal now than it was when I started.
Was it ever intimidating in any way? I mean, they like, we've got you out there, we expect this, that, and the other, and then maybe if you came up a little short a time or two or a week or two, or you got hurt or something happened.
You feel pressure for sure. Yeah. And I think New York, you felt quite a bit with Mr. Steinbrenner. He was always there. He wasn't around in the locker room that much, but always in that booth up there, you would see him and that type of thing. So I don't know about intimidated, but I was always able to simplify things from the standpoint of just my priority was taking care of my game. Mm-hmm. And so I really concentrated on the field, and then, like, I always felt like if I can take care of the game or between the lines and my preparation and getting ready to play, hold myself to a standard and an expectation, a high expectation. When I wasn't performing, I knew it. And there may have been some talk about it. I didn't really feel it like that because I was disappointed in myself when I wasn't performing. So I tried to take care of the field, and then and in my terms, I try to deal with everything else that comes with it. And as long as I take care of the field, everything else I can deal with.
Yeah. What made you want to branch out and like have the restaurant? Remember, of course, you remember Mattingly's
Foolishness
23.
and youth and sounded good.
Uh-huh.
But I think you want to, like, you kind of hear you should be building, be a little bit, invest your money, build a businesses and things like that. And so that's kind of part of that. To me, it was a learning experience. It's not something that I think I would do again. I was probably too young to be doing it. It was a lot of fun for a while. But I knew when I retired that just wasn't the place for me. I wasn't going to be hanging around telling old stories. I'm going to move on. Put the past, keep moving forward.
It was kind of a shock to me. In my first job, I was working in Terre Haute, and our weekend anchor was from New York, and learned that I was from Evansville. And the first question he asked me was, Don Mattingly. Normally, people would ask me, do I know Marcia Yockey? But do you know Don Mattingly? And I said, well, I know who Don Mattingly is, but no, I don't know him. And he said, have you ever been to his restaurant? And I said, no. And basically, we got to go. So he came down with me, and we went. Unfortunately, you weren't there that night. I think it was in the summer. You were probably working. and he was in hog heaven. I mean, just looking at all your, at that point, memorabilia and awards and so forth, and just couldn't believe that I wasn't in there every night, And
out
I know.
That's why we closed.
Should have been, right, exactly. I should have supported it better. But yeah, that was my first inkling of how big of a deal you were outside of here in Evansville, that this guy from New York would know you. Did you encounter a lot of fans on the subway or just walking around town or whatever, people wanting autographs, stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, early on, I kind of jumped right into the spotlight quickly, right? I won a batting title the first full year, and then I win the MVP. And so I get rolling pretty quick. And New York is a place they know about the Yankees, right? There's a history there.
Sure.
A lot of the history I didn't really know that well until I got there. So definitely happened. New Jersey was tough for that. It created a situation where you're more mindful of where you're going. Like I couldn't just go to the mall and hang out, right, and just go shopping. And take the kids. If I did, it would become, kind of just too much, right? People start finding out.
They'd really mob you
a little bit, right? A little bit early on. And, you appreciate it that they like the way you play or whatever. But that becomes tough when you got kids walking around and your wife or whatever. It becomes like not that enjoyable.
Yeah. But then you don't want people to think you're a jerk. I mean, it's kind of a hard, balance that people won't give you your space.
And you end up not going.
Yeah.
For me.
You just kind of
don't do it.
Yeah.
You know where I ended up knowing like where to go and where not to go.
So the guys like after a game don't just say, "Hey, let's all go to the Dairy Queen," or "Let's all probably not Dairy Queen, but let's go to this, that, or the other place." That probably wouldn't happen for that. I guess because they're all getting mobbed, right? Or more or less, or many.
Yeah, and I think at different levels, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows you, especially in a place like New York, and most of the time in the big leagues. There's so much television. You're on TV. They see you every night. They're reporting on it, whatever. But again, I think that's where you have to keep for me at least, it was like stay grounded in what you do, take care of the field. Gets back to the simplicity of all this.
Sure.
Take care of the field, deal with everything else, and learn. Maybe you go to some different restaurants. I ended up in the city more. The city was more laid back for me because people are kind of too cool. They may see you and give you a wave, but they're not really coming up and wanting autographs and things like that.
Did you experience that here in Evansville then too? Or
a little bit early on, like the restaurant, obviously that was that situation. But even when I first like coming back and going to the kids' games, like watching them play Little League, some of that. But what I found out is over time, I got to be just another guy that was there.
Yeah.
And that was good for me.
Yeah. I think that's one of the, I think we crossed paths. You were Mother Ginger in it was, I think, a Mattingly Charities thing, or you were doing a charity event for Nutcracker. And I saw they got Don Mattingly to do what, and we met backstage very briefly. And then you turned up randomly I think we were at a swim meet at Lloyd Pool. And I looked over and I thought, that looks like Don Mattingly. And I didn't want to bug you, and you spoke first, which was really nice. And I think we, chatted there while
Recognize you.
Yeah,
right.
And I thought, the poor guy, probably nobody will leave him alone, because that's got to be that weird feeling. You walk into a restaurant and there's Don Mattingly, there's Don Mattingly.
Not so much. Obviously, not as much anymore. I've been around a long time, and I think when Lori and I first got together, she could feel it. I got used to it, and I was not bothered by it. I kind of knew, but I was just used to it, and just, be yourself, be nice to people, and keep going.
Let's talk about Mattingly Charities, because that's obviously your big footprint here in town right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the spark for that, or, how did you wind up in that?
It started out, I had a back company for a short period of time where I invented a handle for kids, and we had a little bit of a back company. And so when you do that, you're building product that doesn't move. We would take the inventory and donate it to different fields and leagues and things like that. And that was more in Connecticut when I was still in New York. But when Lori and I both wanted to bring it back home, where this is something that we do here. And I think we both came from similar backgrounds, right? We came from, I think we had a passion for the kids that were we called it underserved, right? Mm-hmm. The kids that didn't have the same opportunities that maybe see kids in other households or other areas of town had. And then that was our start. And it started with sports and doing different things. It's really evolved into more education.
Yeah, I saw your reading scooters, or cruisers, rather.
Yes.
That Hebron School had gotten some as a result of a grant from your charities. So.
Yeah, we've did a number of things, but we kind of got more into the education. We felt like that was more of an avenue for these kids in a bigger sense. The reading program is something that we are really pushing right now. We do a feeder reader. Well, actually, Casey at Casey's Dugout has started a feeder reader program that we've kind of backed. We've also got involved with the YMCA this year with Mattingly Charities doing a reading, like building home libraries. And we talk about the differences in say a medium income household has access to probably 100 books a kid. And then kids in the inner city or the underserved neighborhoods have access to one book for every 100 kids. So really a discrepancy. So we've really we're working with the Y to build home libraries. We're trying to, in the less income schools, it's the Promise Zone schools, K through 3, we're trying to put 13 books in every kid's hand from kindergarten through third grade that are their books that they take home, that they have at their house.
And that's got to be a great feeling that you're able to do this stuff, by
great
virtue
feeling.
of your terrific career, living the dream.
Yeah, honestly, using the platform as much as anything. We have a great board. Jennifer, our kind of leader in this, and we had Becky Sandgren before Jennifer. They're the ones that do a lot of the work and doing the work behind the scenes. And then we are, obviously involved with it and care about it and have things to, try to lead it and push it the directions that we feel passionate about. But a lot of other people are doing a lot of groundwork. As you know, probably anything that you would do, there's a lot of people doing groundwork.
Yes.
But it feels good to be able to use our platform to do a lot of good things.
Yeah, and it will just continue to grow. At least that appears to be the trend right now.
It does.
What else excites you? What else do you hope to do then, with that, or just as you move ahead here? You're going to Philadelphia, of course.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
A lot of things excite me. I think, when we talk about Mattingly Charities, that is something that excites me and being able to help kids. When Lori and I first started, we talked about if we help one child. We weren't worried about getting big or bigger or doing this, that, and the other. We talked simply about if we can help one child, then we've made it a better place. Obviously, it's grown from that, right? So that interests me that we can continue to help kids and do that and really help, hopefully collaborate, because there's so many nonprofits that are doing different things that are all doing great things. I mean, 14 has the thing, I think it was at 14 nonprofits in 14 days.
Right, over Christmas.
Over
Christmas,
they would all
come
right?
on.
So there's a lot of people doing good things.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that we're all maybe kind of overlapping in certain areas, and hopefully as time goes, more and more collaboration and being able to, make sure that the dollars that come in are going and not, doubling up things.
Yeah. Night of Memories, that's another one of yours. Is that your favorite activity, do you think, if you had to pick? Or maybe I don't want to make you pick, but you must enjoy that a lot. It's gone forever.
I like it. It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's
that's right. You're usually one of the prizes, aren't you?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I've been involved a number of years.
Sure.
There's a few years that I haven't been involved, but they're doing a lot of good things. From there, when I was doing it a lot, I wanted to branch out and do my own thing a little bit, and I think because we could direct where the money went and do things that Lori and I thought were closer to our heart. Not that the Night of Memories, it does good things. It's giving equipment, helping a lot of sports things, but we really wanted to move in some different directions.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking time out. I know you got to pick up Louie here at school pretty soon. I don't want to make you late for that. You still got to be a dad and all this, right?
I do, at least for a few months. Louis the other day came home, one of his papers for school. It was like, who lives in your house? And it was like, Mom, Dad sometimes.
Yeah.
3 cats, 2 dogs, his brother Isaac, so I guess sometimes I'm a dad.
Yeah. Well, and you're certainly a legend here in Evansville, and it's been so great to talk to you here on Inside Look.
Thank you.
Don Mattingly, thanks so
Appreciate it.
much for coming out.
Thank you.
I'm Jeff Lyons. If you'd like to watch all of our podcasts, you can do that wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch on the 14 News YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our companion podcast, What's the Trend, with Aaron Weeks and Casey Mason. With Don Mattingly, I'm Jeff Lyons. Thanks for joining.